stiff over your game driver here for the next 2 weeks to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, I'll give you a little background. The reserve here was established back in 1971 to help protect the local wildlife here. While over the years, the animals have become less afraid of us. It's make them quite vulnerable to poachers and really not tolerate poaching here in Harambe. Above your heads, you will notice a game spotting guide. Just use that as a quick reference for some of the animals that we may see. We will not see all those animals, but I'll tell you this much: we will see animals. Very important for Kilimanjaro safaris, you obey our rules and regulations. 1, no eating. 2, no smoking. 3, most important, there is no standing while on board the truck for any reason whatsoever. If you have cameras, action, sports, motion, or safari setting will your best setting, as we do have a few scheduled stops, but we will not stop for all of the animals. Now all that said, you guys get any specific animals that you want to see? Lions? Never heard of all of them. Zebras? Well, it is migration season, so we don't know what animals we may or may not see, so we'll just keep our eyes open for them. Alright, once it's okay. See ya! We're going to the Rolatory Forest. Now the animals in the forest use the natural colorings of their bodies to blend in with their surroundings, making them almost invisible to the eye. But I'll promise you this, if you look hard enough here in the forest, you'll find animals like the okapi there to the right hand side of the truck. Okapis are one of the only known relatives of the giraffe, were discovered until around 1901 by the Westerners. The tarish-colored animal with a yellow back is a yellowback tiger, getting its name from its ability to dive into bushes to be avoided. The yellow hairs on its back stand up, they let out a screeching whistle, and then dive into the bushes. On the left-hand side here, you'll find birds with yellow bills, called the yellow-billed storks. They are carnivorous birds eating snakes, fish, frogs, and sometimes other small birds. Now we're headed out towards a boarding hole, which is actually a great gathering place for a lot of the animals here in the forest. Also a chance, if we're lucky, we'll see that rare animal right there, the black rhino. Black rhinos are rare because there are fewer than 5,000 still left in existence. That is unfortunately due to poaching. Now they weigh about 3,000 pounds. They have a skin that's about an inch thick. They can run at about 35 miles an hour. The only thing that threatens a black rhino are humans. Now on the right hand side of the truck, you'll find a saddle-billed stork. It's the tallest stork that lives here in Africa, as it stands 5 feet tall and has a wingspan of about 8.5 to 9 feet. Also on the right hand side here, you'll find the ghost of the forest, the bongos. Bongos are so really seen, they've been given that nickname. Now the horns you see here, you can't really tell here because these are younger ones, but they have horns that are pushed back, which actually helps them to navigate through the forest with ease. Even that little one doesn't even have his horns yet. Now we're going to head on out of the forest and make our way over to the Safi River, where we're going to go swimming with the hippos. Now hippos, they stay submerged under the water for several hours out of the day just to keep their large and massive bodies cool from the sun. They'll come out usually at night, feast on about 150 pounds of vegetation. Full-grown males can easily weigh about 5,500 pounds, but they only start off at about 60 or 70 pounds at birth. Now we'll just keep our eyes on the waters of the river, as that's where you will find the hippos, as they are excellent swimmers. For preferring though to walk along the bottom of the river if they can reach it, just using the natural buoyancy of their bodies and their little feet to push them off the bottom, holding their breath 5 to 8 minutes at a time. Now in the island you'll find pink-backed pelicans, who get their names from the coloration of their backs that will turn pink during mating season. They are typically found in pairs of 20 to as many as 500 pelicans. Now another water resident that lives here in the river is an animal that can take down animals twice its size, like zebras and wildebeest. Has about 2,000 pounds of pressure in its jaws. One snap can break every bone in the body of its prey. Now they can reach lengths of up to 20 feet and love to take guests who don't pay attention on my truck. The Nile crocodile. Now crocs, they keep their mouths open to regulate their body temperatures. That way their bodies don't overheat. Alright, we're gonna head on out to the savannah where it's a completely different ecosystem. Different types of animals, and then we'll make our way over to elephant country. Now, speaking of different, here on the right hand side of the truck you'll find a tree that appears to be upside down. It is actually a common look for the baobab tree, as it remains leafless 9 months out of the year. Baobabs can survive the long periods of droughts that we commonly get here in Africa by storing water in their trunks. Then we're going to head on onto one of my favorite views of this entire reserve, the Serengeti grasslands. Now these grasslands, as you'll see, they stretch hundreds and hundreds of miles across East Africa. It serves as a superhighway for millions of migrating animals, and it is home to the elephant, the giraffe, and the lion. Now this is just a part of the wild Africa that we are trying our hardest to conserve. Now the landscape that you see here is actually created by those animals that live here. Elephants, like the bulldozers in the savannah, they'll eat the leaves, knock over the trees, so they can eat the roots of the trees, and it helps to spread the grasses so that antelope, zebras, and other types of nibblers can eat the grass, which allows for new grass to grow. Giraffes, they'll eat the leaves on the bottom of the trees, allowing for the sun to come through. So in a well natural balanced ecosystem, there's always food. Now the tall mounds of earth that are around the savannah are termite mounds. They're as hard as concrete, made with saliva, spit, and dirt. Now elephants love using them sort of like back scratchers, and then small animals like antelopes will use them as lookout posts for predators stalking them in the tall grasses. Here to the left, the largest antelope that lives here in Africa, the Patterson's eland, stands 6 feet tall from its shoulders up, weighs about 2,000 pounds, and can vertically jump up to 8 feet. Off to the left hand side as well, you'll find springbok, which are only about 100 pounds, 4 feet tall, but can actually jump up to 11.5 feet when frightened, the little guys. The smaller ones here, or the larger ones I should say, are the sable antelopes, are emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Horns reach between 60 to 66 inches in length. They use their horns to spar or to show dominance during mating season, the males do. Now the dark ones you see there, nope, those are springbok. A little bit different than the gazelles. Alright, we're going to continue on through the savannah. Out in the middle of the savannah, you'll find an animal with horns that come about 5.5 to 6 feet from its head. They're about 40 inches at the base. They contain the cattle's blood vessels, serving as a radiation cooling system. The Ankole cattle, or Watusi cattle from the tribe that domesticated them. Also out there you'll find the wildebeest, the animals with the largest annual land migration in the world. Every year migrating across the continent of Africa in search of water and also food. Now the tallest animals in the world are the giraffe, as they stand 6 feet tall at birth and 18 to 20 feet tall, full grown. They'll spend about 18 to 20 hours out of their day just eating. They also have the water buck here, who's not too fazed by the rain, as it is able to secrete an oily smelly substance across its body, which makes it not only waterproof, but unattractive to others that surround it. The giraffe you see standing along by the palm trees is a reticulated giraffe. Reticulated have more of a net-like pattern on their coats as opposed to the group of Maasai giraffes there. Maasais have more of a jagged jigsaw puzzle-like pattern on their coats. We got elephant country, folks. We're gonna pass right through Monkey Point to get there, which is actually named for the troop of mandrills that live there. Now, mandrills are actually one of the largest and most colorful monkeys that live here in Africa. Their troops are led by one dominant male, and you will be able to recognize him as he is 100 pounds, has a brightly colored face and bottom to show his dominance within his troop. Now, both male and female are colorful, but the thing about these monkeys is they can be pretty shy monkeys, so don't be surprised if we do not see the monkeys. But an elephant there lets me know that we're heading in the right direction. Oh, you guys won't be lucky enough to see the mandrills. Not the male mandrill, but this is one of the females. And her young. Or maybe it's the other female's young. The male's about 3 times their size. Because they only get up to be about 33 pounds. Some music. Turn on a station right around here. Oh man, we're supposed to turn that way. Oops. Because the rain washed away the bridge. Turn my radio off. Okay. Alright folks, we're gonna head on over to elephant country, see if we can find the rest of the herd. As I said, every time we cross the bridges, we seem to lose a piece of it. Every time we cross, we're just gonna go pulling. It should be okay. Uh-oh! Hold on! Whoa! Oh, wow. Hakuna Matata. That was a close one. But it looks like we're coming up to the herd. You can see the footprints of the tusk markings of the elephants as they actually eat the clay in order to obtain the nutrients that are found within the clay. In addition, eating about 300 pounds of vegetation on a daily basis, which is why full-grown males can weigh between 10 to 12,000 pounds, starting off only at about 100 to 300 pounds or so at birth. Now, the gestation period of an elephant does last between 20 to 22 months. Now, elephant herds are called a matriarch society because it is actually the females of the herd who do the hunting, as males will tend to isolate themselves or even find bachelor herds, though the male calves will stay with their mothers between 13 to 15 years out of their lives. Well, females actually remain with the herds for the rest of their lives. Now, the dilemma that faces an elephant on a daily basis is the poaching of their ivory tusk. And we can actually help to prevent that by supporting those conservation efforts that are out there, educating ourselves, educating others on the protection of the elephants. Now, scientists are studying the vocalization of elephants to help them better understand how they communicate amongst one another and what the elephants need to survive. Now, it looks like a flock of greater flamingo have flown in. They are the lightest shade pink of all species of flamingo. At birth, these flamingo are gray, turning pink over time from their diets, rich in beta-carotene from the brine shrimp that they consume. Now, onto a partner reserve, where not always, but sometimes we find white rhinos. Now, even though great efforts have gone into conserving them, unfortunately, even on some of our well-known reserves here in Africa, they're still being poached. They were once our greatest success story here. White rhinos have once again become threatened unless they can be better protected. We find that a constant battle, though, when you have well-financed poachers who just find other means of hunting them. Oh, we'll definitely keep our eyes and ears open for the white rhinos. A few different animals here. The ostrich, fastest bird in the world, one's up to 40 miles an hour. Flightless bird. A little further back on the left hand side. The brown animal there is a bumpy. Unfortunately, it is extinct in the wild. And the whitish, tannish colored animal, is a cheetah. It's not a cheetah, but it's a scimitar in Honduras. Now, cheetahs, fastest animals in the world, running up to 60 miles an hour. They have excellent eyesight, making them one of the only large African cats that will hunt during the day. And she has her eyes set on those bumpy. One of my favorites. Alright, folks, looks like they're on a mission, so we better move on. We're gonna head over towards the Kopi Rocks. Now, the Kopi in Afrikaans means little head, referring to the rock formations that look like little heads that rise from the Savanna. This is where you usually find the lions. But lions are typically inactive 18 to 20 hours out of their day. Prior to belief, it is actually the lioness who does the hunting for the pride, as lions tend to stay back to protect their pride. But on rare occasions, hey, how's it going? Peekaboo. Hey, the lioness is saying hello up there. You guys see her? She's right there. She just laid her head down. She says hello. With the 3 rocks on the hard rocks laying on the rock. There's the one that was saying hello. Coming out of its burrow is a warthog, the largest burrowing mammal in the world. It digs burrows like the ones you see here, backing into them with their sharp tusk exposed as a defense mechanism. Running out those burrows at about 30 miles an hour. These eggs are those of the ostrich that we just saw. They weigh about 3 pounds apiece. Folks, we've seen a lot of animals. We learned a lot about these animals, and the realization is that some of these animals may no longer be in existence without your continuous support. Or those conservation efforts that are out there doing things like recycling old laptops and cell phones to protect the wild habitat that you see before you. That does conclude our tour here through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. I'm going to head you guys back to the nearest warning, folks. And from there, it's just a short walk back to the Harambe village. If you take a walk along the Penn County Exploration Forest Trail, you can find the gorillas, calamus monkeys, naked mole rats, meerkats, and underwater viewing of the hippo pool. Take a train ride over to Rafiki's Fun and Watch, as that is the only way to get to and from Rafiki's. Where you can find a conservation station, the veterinarian hospital, the affection section where you can pet and brush some of the animals. Now snakes and creepy crawlers are in abundance. Now if you want to find those tigers, fruit bats, and infamous Komodo dragons, all you have to do is head over to Asia on the Maharaja Trek Trail. But now is the time to check around your area for anything you may have brought on board with you, but do so while remaining fully and completely seated until it is safe for each the warden's post. The warden has opened the doors and said that it is safe for you to depart the vehicle. I know you had several choices when choosing your safari, guys, but thank you for choosing the wildest Kilimanjaro safaris, and hope that you do tour with us again, because as this is Africa, and you know it is a jungle, the animals out here, they go a little wild sometimes, so I guarantee you this, that no two safaris here will ever be the same.